Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, we can.
A very good afternoon to everyone here. I welcome you all to this great opportunities come to all, but the secret of success in life is to be ready to grasp them when they arrive. With this quote, I would like to invoke by seeking the blessings of our presiding diaries, Goddess Pasangamba. So now, I request Yuva Shelvashri, third BBA, to sing a prayer song.
श्री महेश्वरी वासवी नगरीश्वरी परमेश्वरी कामितातमुलेच्चे ब्रोवमु कन्यक परमेश्वरी देवदेवी महेश्वरी जगदीश्वरी भुवनेश्वरी काववेव मुयल्ल वेलल कन्यक परमेश्वरी बालचंद्र किरीटधारिणि भव्य सुंदर रूपिणी वैश्यवंशयशोभिवर्धिनि कन्यक परमेश्वरी श्री महेश्वरी वासवी नगरीश्वरी परमेश्वरी कामितातमुलेच्चे ब्रोवमु कन्यक परमेश्वरी कन्यक परमेश्वरी कन्यक परमेश्वरी
Thank you, Vashelvashri. Welcome to those who believe in the path, who believe in the power of dreams, and who would like to join us in the exploration of life. Now, I would like to request Mamta from 2nd BBA to give welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. It is such an honor for me to get this opportunity. I would like to welcome our management, Honorable Correspondent Sir, our Principal Ma'am, and Vice Principal Ma'am. IIC President Ma'am, and all IIC staff coordinators. Last but not least, I would like to welcome all the charming students. On behalf of SKPC, it is a great pleasure for me to welcome and introduce our guest speaker of the day, Miss Rupa Ma'am, homepreneur. She is owner of Rora's Food. Once again, I very happy to welcome you all for the session.
Thank you, Mamta. Largest talent reservoir of talent in the world. I would request Haripriya from Telugu from General to introduce our charming group.
Determined and responsible leader with more than 18 years of success, boosting efficiency and streaming procedures for multiple business groups, focused on smoothly overseeing overall development, personnel and operational facts, effectively balance targets with resources and optimize long-term successes. Currently a homepreneur with brand Rura's Flavors located at Chennai, Tamil Nadu. She had 18 years of experience in different domains of e-commerce as a general manager in cbazaar.com. Belonging to Udupi, the interest and the inclination to food industry was by birth high, and she always wanted to venture into something related to food. She started her own food brand in January 2019. She currently runs a premium food brand by name Rura's Flavors to cater to specific needs of customers. Rura's Flavors concentrates on delivering high quality, customized food products ranging from masala powders to snacks to sweets all over India. Fresh food tailored to the dietary needs of customers is also delivered across Chennai. The motto of Rura's Flavors is to cater to the specific needs of customers, deliver high quality food with zero preservatives, and personalize their experience as much as possible. All orders placed through Rura's Flavors is cooked with extensive care in the home kitchen in Chennai, and every care is taken to ensure our customers get the best cooked food. She plays many roles in C Bazaar as general manager, sourcing and vendor management senior manager, customer relations manager, customer relations and customer care team lead, content writer, and product management and customer care executive. She have also released 2 recipe books in Tamil for Aval Vikadan under topics Udupi specials and after school snacks. Thank you for joining with us, ma'am. We are very eager to hear your amazing. We welcome you, and now the platform is open for you, ma'am.
Thank you all. Shall we start the session?
The channel is distributed inside chemical at 1 pm. I repeat, the channel is distributed inside at 1 pm. Thank you.
Should we start? Have we settled down? Okay. Very good morning, everybody. So it's a great pleasure to be among youngsters once again. So I'm Rupa Raghav. They've already introduced me, so I don't want to be talking much about me. But I'm the brand owner of Rura's Flavors, which caters to special and dietary needs of food and food-related products to different customers across the world. So we deliver all over the world as well, and our primary customer clientele is based out of India. So thank you, Nirmala, for having me over here. I think this is probably the second or the third time I'm addressing to students of Kanyaka Parmeshwari College. Thank you for having me over. So Yeah, so we'll start the session. Basically, I want this to be an interactive session. I'm not sure if the students are allowed to unmute and participate in the session. If so, if it's not too much of a trouble, yeah, you could unmute and start participating as we go through the presentation. I don't want it to be yet another boring PPT that, most of us have got, used to during this lockdown. So yeah, we'll start the session. We're going to be talking about innovative modes of having a startup done, or how innovatively can we go ahead and start a startup and move forward in our lives. So I personally believe in this particular slide, so I always ensure this is the first slide that I have whenever I present to especially young women. So you can see that women, we're always on the rise. Okay, we are capable of multitasking, we are capable of doing multiple things. So I personally keep this as my first slide whenever I start my presentations to young girls. Can we move on to the next slide? Yeah. So basically, we are going to be looking at a very important, feature in today's diaspora, which is a startup. You will see that there are multiple startups that are coming up in India, at least in the last couple of decades. You'll see that there have been multiple small companies that have been, founded by young entrepreneurs, especially. So when you talk of a startup, it is a very young company which is founded by one or more entrepreneurs and to develop a very unique or an innovative product. So when we discuss about a startup, one very important thing that we will have to keep in mind is that most of the startups that we see, which are very successful today, have catered to unique and innovative products to their customers. So by nature, this is going to be a very small setup. Okay, startup is not something that is huge. It's not something that's going to have a lot of money. Most likely, most startups have their own funding, the founders, or they take money from their friends or families, or a small saving that we'll have. We just invest that and we start a small brand. Now, what happens to a startup after a couple of years is, as a startup, we'll have some ideas. We look at what ideas will help us to establish a brand. So when a brand is established, after a couple of years, we look at scaling up. Okay, we want to now go ahead and cater to more people around the globe. So that's where we start scaling up, and startups turn into multinational companies and corporates with the help of venture capital. Okay, so initially a startup is going to be a very small team. We'll have very limited funding. The amount of money that we'll have will help us run the day-to-day operations smoothly. And for a startup to be alive in this very, very competitive world, there's a constant need for us to keep innovating our products. It's not possible for us to open a brand and continue doing the same thing for 4 years, 5 years and survive in this competitive world. It's not going to be possible. And the most important thing for a startup is to be a differentiator in the market. You'll find 100 people opening messes. If you go onto Facebook, you'll see a lot of people having their own catering companies. But what you have to do to stay in this market is to be differentiated. So, does anybody know any startup that has done really well? It's been a huge differentiator. And the moment you hear the name of a startup, which companies do you, remember? Anybody? Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Can we please move to the next slide? Yeah. So, like I was talking to you, and as part of my introduction also, there was this thing that I was with a corporate for almost 18 years. So when I was in the corporate, there was one thing that we always, were forced to do, which is to think out of the box. Okay. Anybody who is going to be giving the same ideas over and over again were never really encouraged, is because in this particular world, you're supposed to be thinking out of the box totally. For example, I think 5 years, 10 years back, when Swiggy's founders would have sat on their, drawing board and ideated the idea of picking food from a hotel and delivering it to the house, I think at least a couple of them would have laughed, telling what an idiotic idea it is. Who is ever going to seek the service of some third party picking up food from a hotel and coming and delivering it to me? But that was a very innovative idea that clicked. Today, at least, everybody of us here order through Swiggy or Zomato at least once in 15 days. And when you're just driving down on a Friday evening or a Saturday evening on your car, and you will see at least 50% of people around you will be orange and red t-shirts, Swiggy and Zomato, trying to pick up food for you from another hotel and coming and delivering it. What Swiggy does is they are just playing the role of a logistics partner by allowing you to choose from multiple hotels available on their app, and they go pick up the food on behalf of you and they come and deliver it to you at your house. 10 years back, we never had this service. So we always used to think, okay, dinner என்ன பண்ணலாம் ஒன்னும் பண்ண முடியல பக்கத்துல இருக்கிற ஹோட்டல்ல போயிட்டு we just go get something and come. But now on their app, we have at least around 200, 300 recipes that will help us choose the menu and get a delivery. And it provides solutions to day-to-day problems. Next, very, very important startup that, is doing wonderfully well is your urban company. Most of us would have the urban company app on our, phones. What urban company does is it's an aggregator of multiple service providers. You want to get your makeup and hair done, urban companies makeup experts come to your house and they set up the salon at your house and provide you solutions. You want to clean, you want to deep clean your house for a festival, you don't have to keep waiting for your maid anymore. You just book a service on urban company and you will have an expert, a cleaning expert coming to your house and cleaning it. You just have to let the house to them and sit and rest. You don't have to worry about what chemicals you have to buy for them, nothing at all. So most startups provide you solutions for your day-to-day problems and they will easily stand out in the crowd. See, the moment you go and ask somebody, I want to, book a room in some distant city, the moment you tell that, you will have people recommending you OYO rooms or Airbnb. So that is how these people stand out in the crowd and they differentiate themselves, so that tomorrow when you take your business plan and give it to potential investors, they will be ready to invest in your startup. And they have a very, very unique marketing strategy. How many of you all, are signed up with Swiggy and Zomato? I'm sure most of you all have Swiggy and Zomato on your phones, right? Do you read the notifications that you get on the phone nowadays? Yes. What kind of, messages do you get from Swiggy and Zomato nowadays? So you generally get very funny notifications from Swiggy and Zomato in the recent past. If it is the chess Olympiad, you will have notifications coming to you talking about the chess Olympiad. If it is the first of the month, you will get a notification telling, you got to celebrate because you got your salary today. So you will see that most startups will have a very, very unique marketing strategy, thereby making their presence on social media very, very strong. Now, the in-person professional marketing is the same thing. They try to target each individual with their own needs. For example, can we just mute, please? There's some disturbance here. Yeah, thank you. So you will see that most of these startups will have a very, very strong social media presence, and anything and everything you do on their app is being studied by their marketing team. And if I had searched for biryani yesterday on Swiggy, I will consistently keep getting notifications with offers to, buy the best biryani, or they will also recommend to me what kind of, hotels offer the different kind of biryanis and stuff like that. So you will see, just take a closer look at all these startups and their marketing strategies. You will see that most of them would have personalized their marketing with you, with your behavior, in order to target you and in order to make you a customer. Okay. I think the screen sharing has stopped.
One second, ma'am.
Sure.
Now, ma'am.
No, I can't see the screen.
No, done.
So while we get the screen on, how many of you all really want to start a business of your own? And what is it that you want to do? I have around 260 people. And how many of you all really want to start a business? How many of you all
Girls,
really want to
kindly
do
respond to
something?
ma'am, da.
Don't worry, it'll just be a very, casual session. Nothing to get, worried. What if I answer this and all that?
Yes. Speaking. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible, ma'am.
Yeah, it's visible, but can we just present it, please? It's just a part of the screen.
Sorry, ma'am.
Could you just go to the
Okay.
screen show and present?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
Yeah. So, like I was telling you, they will have a very, very strong social media presence, and you will see that most of these startups initially will, join with bigger players for their initial growth. So you will just look around you, you will see so many startups with so many different ideas with something that we would have not even thought of some years back. Can we go to the next slide? Okay. So now these are some of the startups which are extremely successful and have grown to multiple levels ever since they started. Number one is Ola and Uber. 10 வருஷம் 15 வருஷம் முன்னாடி நம்மளோட ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆட்டோ அண்ணா மட்டும்தான், வேற யாருமே வந்து மீட்டரும் போட மாட்டாரு. அவர் சொல்ற காசு கொடுத்து எங்க வேணாலும் நம்ம அவரை நம்பிதான் போகணும். But the moment Ola and Uber came into existence, we have
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So the moment Ola and Uber came into the market, now it has become very, very easy for us to book an auto or a cab from our house and travel to any end of the city without any issues. Like I told, Swiggy and Zomato, again, they started as aggregators. Actually, when we talk of Swiggy, initially they were just playing the role of third-party logistics. Ipo they have Swiggy Genie, which is you can prepare your own food. You can book a Swiggy Genie guy. He will come to your house. He'll pick up food and he'll go and deliver it to you to any address that you want inside Chennai. And again, now you have something called the Swiggy Instamart. So the Instamart helps you to order groceries, milk, vegetables, everything at your house, and you get them delivered as early as before 25 minutes. So, like I told you previously, unless you constantly keep innovating in your business, it's very, very tough for you to stay in the market. So Swiggy, that started as just a third-party logistics some years back, moved on to Swiggy Genie by providing third-party logistics services to the end customer. It picks up from my house and delivers it to my parents' house. So that is another service that they brought in. And then they moved on to Swiggy Instamart now, wherein they have tied up with a lot of grocery stores. And you will also see that there are a lot of smart points when you walk into the city. You will see Reliance Smart Points, Swiggy Instamart Points. Now, these are places where all these groceries and milk and everything is stored. And so you just order on Swiggy Instamart, whatever you want. In 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you have it at your house. So this is how the startups keep innovating themselves in order to move into a very competitive edge. Next is Paytm and Bharat Pay. Years back, my dad, even now, he doesn't carry a smartphone. He has the habit of only carrying cash. Whereas my daughter never carries cash. All that she has is GPay or Paytm installed on her phone, linked to her bank account. And whenever she wants to pay, she just pays through Paytm or Bharat Pay or GPay. So all of y'all will also be doing the same thing. If you open my wallet now and see, I doubt if I'll have even 100 rupees, because all my cash transactions happen through Paytm or GPay, which is yet another very, very successful startup which has grown multifold now. Lenskart, years back, going to Shankar Netralaya or going and ordering your specs was a big deal for at least, people who are working. We had to go and sit for the entire day to get our specs ordered for our eye checkups and everything. Now, Lenskart has both online and offline stores where you just walk in, they do an eye checkup. You can also order your spectacles, your coolers, your lens, everything through Lenskart. Just if you have an app, or you can also walk into their offline stores and order them. Oyo, we never knew of any other hotel other than the famous hotels to stay in, even remote cities years back. Now we have Oyo on our, mobile. We just search for the best rooms. The good thing about most of these startups is they allow their customers to give reviews. They allow their customers to rate their services, which helps other customers also to choose what they want to order or where they want to stay. And all this kind of helps the business grow as well. Urban Company, like I told you, if you see Urban Company, if you have actually taken the service of Urban Company, you will see that the executives who come to serve you, like, it could be somebody who has come to do a makeover, it could be somebody who has come to do a deep cleaning, it could be a plumber who, has come to get your taps right. You will see at the end of the service, he will ask you to rate him. Okay, so your rating is actually going to help some other person, as a very, very normal person, like a, plumber who has not seen internet years back, is now very, very adept with the internet, very, very adept with the app. And he will ask you to rate him at the end of the service, because the more ratings he gets surfaced on the app and he gets more work. So you will see most of these startups that provide service or products have employed at least, thousands or lakhs of people just by their innovative ideas. You have any doubts, you can stop me and ask me, or if we have a question and answer session at the end of the presentation, we can do that as well. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay, now I want you guys to participate now. How many of you all really want to become entrepreneurs? How many of you all want to start a business of your own? Anybody who has this aim? At least 56% of women entrepreneurs started their business as early as between 20 and 30 years old. I was late by 6 to 7 years, okay? But most women entrepreneurs have started their businesses as early as between 20 and 30 years old. So you guys are at the right time to, start something, because your risk-taking ability is much more compared to that of married women with a lot of, commitments around us. So you can, I'm not sure if you can use the chat window. If yes, you can chat it out. I mean, you can just type it out as well. So yeah, I've always been in awe of women entrepreneurs, basically because you will see that India on the whole has different kind of entrepreneurs around us. Also, I don't want you to kind of think entrepreneur nale vandu bayangara hi-fi ah irpanga, avanga vandu laptop edutittu da povanga, nothing of that sort. Just look around you, you will find a lot of entrepreneurs around you, lot of them doing simple things without even a calculator. Take an example of your flower vendor, your Pukarama, who comes every day. She's called a grassroots entrepreneur. Okay, so we have multiple levels of entrepreneurs. So she is called a grassroots entrepreneur. We'll go to that slide. But simple things here is, a woman entrepreneur is no different than a male entrepreneur, but there is the ecosystem for a women entrepreneur is slightly different compared to that of male entrepreneurs. Most importantly, we are systemed in such a way that our risk-taking ability is much less compared to that of men. And number two, the expectations when it comes to women is always high in this society as compared to that of men. So what happens is, when we start discussing about ideas, when we start discussing about businesses to our families, some of them are not very welcoming, okay? But when you start doing it at an age between 20 and 30 before you get married, trust me, it's going to be very, very easy for you guys to start a business and run it as compared to that of people who are married and have a family, okay? But that said, how many of you all shop from Nykaa? Anybody who shops from Nykaa here? I'm sure you all know what Nykaa is. Okay, so Nykaa is a lifestyle brand that is available on app. Okay, now it sells makeup products. It used to sell only makeup products until recently, but now Nykaa has clothing. It also has multiple verticals to it. The founder of Nykaa is Falguni Nair, and she started Nykaa when she was 49 years old. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you can do it at any age. But if you start early, you have a very, very good competitive edge in order for you to fight it out in the ecosystem. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yes. Now, this is what I was talking to you about. So the moment we tell entrepreneurs, it's not like nalla English பேச தெரிஞ்சவங்க மட்டும் தான் entrepreneur ஆகணும், நல்லா ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணிட்டு லேப்டாப் வச்சுட்டு அது மட்டும் கிடையாது. நீங்க கிராஸ் ரூட் ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸ்னு நம்ம பார்க்கும்போது நம்மளை சுத்தி நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னாலே உங்களுக்கு வந்து தெரியும். பூ விற்கிறவங்க, ஓகே, நம்மளோட ஸ்ட்ரீட்லயே வந்து இந்த தள்ளுவண்டி வச்சுட்டு இட்லி தோசை எல்லாம் பண்ணி கொடுக்குறவங்க. These are called grassroots entrepreneurs because number one, அவங்க பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சது வந்து சேவிங்ஸ்க்காக கிடையாது. அவங்க பிசினஸ் வந்து அவங்களோட டே டு டே லைஃப்காக, அவங்களோட பிள்ளைங்களை படிக்க வைக்கிறதுக்காக, அவங்களோட எவ்ரிடே அவங்க வந்து சம்பாதிக்கிறது, அவங்களோட எவ்ரிடே அவங்க செலவுக்காக, அவங்களோட பிள்ளைங்களோட எஜுகேஷனுக்காக செலவு பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறவங்க இஸ் கிராஸ் ரூட் ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸ். மோஸ்ட் கிராஸ் ரூட் ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஸ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஃபார்மல் எஜுகேஷன் இருக்காது. அவங்க வந்து ஒரு 6th or 7th படிக்கும் போதே வந்து அவங்க குடும்ப சூழ்நிலைக்காக அவங்க வந்து அந்த படிப்பு விட்டுட்டு ஏதாவது இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சிருப்பாங்க. பட் the lack of formal education does not make them any less than the other entrepreneurs. ஏன் சொல்றேன்னா, அவங்க கிட்ட கால்குலேட்டர் இருக்காது, அவங்க கிட்ட நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஸ்மார்ட் போன் இருக்காது, அவங்க கிட்ட வந்து கணக்கு கூட அவங்க வந்து மனசுலதான் போடுவாங்க தவிர அவங்க கிட்ட பேப்பர் பென் கூட கிடையாது. பட் you will see the kind of professionalism they exhibit when they do their calculations and when they do their services is much, much higher than what educated people do. முன்னெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம வீட்டுல வந்து பூ போட்டுட்டு ஒரு கோடு போட்டுட்டு போயிடுவாங்க பக்கத்துல. நம்ம வீட்டுல வெளியே பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்பதான் கோடு போட்டா பயப்படுறோம், யாரோ நம்ம வீடை வந்து நோட் பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னு ஒரு பயம் வருது நமக்கு. பட் முன்னெல்லாம் வந்து இந்த பூ விற்கிறவங்க, இந்த காய்கறி கீரை கொண்டு வர்றவங்க, அவங்க எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா they will just come and deliver the flowers, கீரை எல்லாம் கொடுத்துட்டு ஒரு கோடு போட்டு போயிடுவாங்க நம்ம வீட்டுல. ஸோ அந்த கோடு தான் வந்து அவங்களோட கணக்கு. at the end of the month they will come and see எவ்வளோ கோடு போட்டிருக்கோ என்ன, அந்த கால்குலேஷன் சொல்லிட்டு அம்மாட்ட காசு வாங்கிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க. So these are grassroots entrepreneurs. Trust me, you keep observing them, you have a lot to learn from these grassroots entrepreneurs. This morning I had to buy flowers, என்கிட்ட சேஞ்ச் இல்லை. ஸோ நான் அந்த பூக்கார ஆன்டி கிட்ட, ஆன்டி சேஞ்ச் இல்லை, நான் எடுத்துட்டு வரல, நான் ஜிபே பண்ணட்டா. அவங்களுக்கு ஜிபே எல்லாம் தெரியாது. பட் ஒரு 50% ஆளுங்க இப்போ வந்து ஜிபே, பேடிஎம் எல்லாம் வச்சிருக்காங்க. பட் இவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. பட் வாட் ஷீ டெல்ஸ் மீ இஸ், உன்னை நான் தினம் நீ வாங்குறமா, உன்கிட்ட என்ன இப்ப காசு, நீ நாளைக்கு எடுத்துட்டு வா. ஸோ த கஸ்டமர் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் that these grassroots entrepreneurs build will be much, much higher than what your Amazon customer service or your other corporate customer services will offer to you. So the second category of entrepreneurs, especially in women, is mid-rung entrepreneurs. You know, more like people like me, more like people for who this business is not the breadwinning business for the family. Okay, so at the same time, this is not something that is running my family also. So we are in the middle. Okay, I earn, it is more or less for the savings of my family. I don't earn also, it's not going to stop my family from running. So these are the mid-rung entrepreneurs wherein using our creative talent. Most mid-rung entrepreneurs, if you see, would have worked somewhere for 10 to 15 years. gained experience out of working there, use their experience in building their own business. So these are the mid-rank entrepreneurs who are basically somebody who wants to, apply their creative knowledge in building their own brands. And we are wired in such a way that we want to grow slowly and we want to play safe. Okay. If you ask me today, will you invest 10 lakhs and, just go ahead and, invest in a property to establish a commercial kitchen? I may not, because I want to play it very, very safe. Okay. Now, there's the next most important, category of entrepreneurs is the upper crust entrepreneurs. They have families which are running businesses for generations together. Our Ambanis, our Adanis, the Tata groups, all of these women who form a part of their business will come into the upper crust entrepreneurs, wherein though they have their well-established businesses, they will still be a part of their businesses, playing a very important role in taking the business ahead from a point X to a point Y. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. So now, if you look around you, there's something called the unorganized sector. Okay, the unorganized sector, the number எப்பவுமே வந்து நமக்கு எந்த டேட்டாலயுமே வராது. அன்ஆர்கனைஸ்டு செக்டர்ல வந்து நம்மளோட ஹவுஸ்மேட்ஸ் வந்துருவாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம தோட்டத்துல வேலை பார்க்குறாங்க அந்த ஆன்டிஸ், அவங்க எல்லாம் வந்து இந்த அன்ஆர்கனைஸ்ட் செக்டர்ல வந்துடுவாங்க. பட் ஆர்கனைஸ்டு செக்டர்ல பார்த்தோம்னா திஸ் இஸ் த நம்பர். It is quite annoying to see this, is because கார்த்தால நீங்க ட்ரெயின்ல வரும்போது பாத்தீங்கன்னா லேடிஸ் கோச்ல ஏறவே முடியாது, நம்மளால அவ்வளோ ரஷ் இருக்கும். But what is actually recorded is this number. The percentage of women workforce all over India is less than 20%, and the percentage of women in leadership roles is less than 9%. Well, I was at the leadership role when I chose to quit my corporate job. It's basically because, trust me girls, when you move above the ladder in corporates, it gets very, very tough for you. A man has to tell something once for that fact to be accepted. But as a woman, you have to tell that at least 4 times for people above you to trust and take the decision. So what happens as women move up the ladder is we kind of start thinking it's better to start our own businesses rather than, toiling for, somebody else. Now that mindset comes to you in corporate when you cross 10 to 15 years of experience. In fact, I was talking about Falguni Nair, the founder of Nykaa. She was one of the managing directors of Kotak Mahindra when she quit in 2012 and she wanted to establish something on her own. She started Nykaa at the age of 49. But before that, she was one of the managing directors of Kotak Mahindra. So you will see that there are so many women entrepreneurs around you who would have had brilliant experience working elsewhere, but will walk out to start their own brands and do extremely well in their businesses as well. One more very good example is Menstrupedia. You guys can Google Menstrupedia. Now, Menstrupedia is an app and it is also a knowledge-based, product that helps parents talk about sex education and menstrual, and also about the growth phases to their sons and daughters. I think it's Aditi Gupta who started Menstrupedia. And you will see that she also had previous experience working elsewhere before she could start Menstrupedia. So almost all women entrepreneurs that you look around, especially the mid-rung category people, would have experience before working elsewhere and will use that experience in order to establish their own businesses. The percentage of women entrepreneurs altogether in India is less than 15%, but at least 56% of women entrepreneurs started their businesses between the age of 20 and 30. And one more very important thing about women entrepreneurs is most women entrepreneurs do not employ more than 5 people. Like I told you, it is wired in our brain that we are very less risk-taking people, so we get afraid. 5 பேருக்கு மேல எம்ப்ளாய் பண்ணிட்டு சம்பளம் கொடுக்க முடியுமா என்ன தெரியல. So all those things run in our mind, whereas men do not think so much when it comes to running businesses. The next slide, please. Okay. So one important thing that you will see when you move into the business diaspora after you become an entrepreneur is that most women entrepreneurs have their own set of girlfriends. Okay, we have our own set of women who we hang out with, is because when we start ideating and when we start discussing, you will see there is a lot of support that you get from your own, peers. She would probably be my competitor at some point of time, but when I go and discuss about an idea to another women entrepreneur, she can relate to it better than a counterpart who is a male. And you will also see most of us want to employ women. I have like 3-4 people working under me, let's say. You will see that at least 3 of them are women, and I will always choose to employ more women because we want to empower more women in the journey of our entrepreneurship. We have a better sense of utilization of resources. Now, this is something that is extremely important when it comes to running our own business. Okay, you give us 10 people, we will be able to utilize them to the best of our abilities. But a job that needs to be done by 10 people and we have only 6 to 7 people and we are running short of resources, but you will still see that we will be able to deliver the same kind of results even when we have less resources. Okay, you will see this in your houses also. ரொம்ப கிண்டல் பண்ணுவாங்க நம்மள, பட் பரவாயில்ல, எதுவுமே இல்லைன்னா ஓகே, டக்குன்னு ஒரு உப்புமா பண்ணிடலாம்னு இருக்கிற ரவை வச்சு பண்ணிடுவோம், which is actually a better utilization of whatever is available at home. But this does not come to men very easily. We are definitely multitaskers by nature. You yourselves would have done it, or just go and observe your mom today. அங்க வந்து சைட்ல கிரைண்டர்ல மாவு போட்டிருப்பாங்க, வாஷிங் மெஷின் ஓடிட்டு இருக்கும், யார்கிட்டயாவது போன்ல பேசிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, at the same time குக் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, and all 4 jobs will be done to perfection after some time. By nature, we are multitaskers. Okay, we're not putting down men here, that's not our agenda at all. But when we talk about women entrepreneurs, you will see, like, I go for deliveries some days. I have a delivery executive with me. அவர் வரல அப்படின்னு இருக்கும்போது I go for deliveries. There's nothing wrong in taking your own product and going for deliveries. அப்பதான் வந்து நம்ம வந்து குக் பண்ணி பேக்கிங் எல்லாம் பண்ணி முடிச்சிருப்போம். அப்போன்னு பார்த்துட்டு நமக்கு வந்து டெலிவரி பர்சன் வரல அப்படின்னு இருந்ததுன்னா nothing to worry about. We just go ahead, take our vehicle, we just go ahead, finish the delivery and come back and start our work. So by nature, we are multitaskers, and most importantly, we improve the socio-economic status, okay, of the family and also of the society. And the very, very important point when it comes to handling customers, you will see most customer relations officers, most customer relations managers will be women, because we'll be able to relate and we'll be able to empathize with people easily when compared to that of men. So now these characteristics actually make our businesses grow better than when it has to be handled by the other counterpart. The next slide, please. Okay. Now, we've always been talking about the plus points of being an entrepreneur, how we contribute to our, socio-economic background and everything. But there are challenges. I would be lying if I don't touch this part of, the entrepreneurial journey. Number one, the finances and funding. As women entrepreneurs, when we are bootstrapped or shoestring, is kind of tough. நம்மகிட்ட இருக்கிற savings வந்து நம்ம எடுக்கணும்னாலுமே வந்து there is a certain ecosystem in our families, இல்லையா? நம்ம வந்து அப்பாட்ட கேட்கணும், நம்ம வந்து அண்ணாட்ட கேட்கணும், இல்ல நம்ம வந்து ஹஸ்பண்ட் கிட்ட கேட்கணும். அவங்க கிட்ட எல்லாம் கேட்டுட்டு அவங்க ஓகே சொன்ன அப்புறம் we go ahead and invest it in our businesses, whereas that's not the point for men, right? I don't remember என்னோட அப்பா வந்து நான் இந்த business பண்ண போறேன், நான் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணட்டான்னு I don't remember he asking my party or even my mom for that matter. But this is the ecosystem that we are currently in. It is slowly getting changed nowadays. My daughter is doing her architecture, and for her to start an architectural firm, I think will be comparatively easy to what I would have faced if I wanted to start a business when I was in my college. the gender inequality definitely exists. Okay. It's not like it is all rosy. No, it's not there. You will face some problems somewhere or the other, not just when doing business, even when we are at a job. In corporates, we still fight for fair pay. Women are paid less compared to that of men. Even though our degrees will be the same, our experience might be more than your male counterpart. But still, the fair pay policy does not exist in most of the organizations. So there is going to be gender inequality. But like I said, you just have to be determined to what you're going to do. And the moment you're determined to do what you want to do, you can just shatter everything that is there and just keep moving forward. Lack of education, thereby lack of business knowledge. See, you will see as we start moving up the educational ladder, MBA நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா B schools MBAs like a Great Lakes or an ISB or an IIM, அங்கெல்லாம் வந்து MBA ல நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா at least 60 to 75% will be men compared to that of women. Because again, after we finish our graduation, the next most important topic at home is to get us married, and the moment we get married, we forget about education and all that. So lack of education kind of pushes us one step below when it comes to establishing bigger firms. The men are at a slightly above edge when compared to that of us, because we lack the business knowledge, and we also lack the street smartness and certain things when it comes to running certain businesses. Next point, work-life balance, not just by entrepreneurs, almost by every working woman. This work-life balance is kind of messed up totally in a lot of places. You work as a teacher, you work as a software professional, you run your own business. The work-life balance is something that is definitely a problem for women, because we are expected to take care of the family as well as our work. Now, currently, at least with the current generation, I see a lot of men contributing equally to the household work, to taking care of the kids, to being a participant in rearing up the kids. All that is happening in the current generation. I can see some young men doing that effortlessly. I think this work-life balance will also kind of get addressed, and let's say a decade or so, 10 years down the lane, this is not going to be a problem anymore. A very, very low risk bearing ability. This is something, I just rented a place for like 15-20K to run my commercial kitchen. Trust me, girls, I couldn't sleep for like 1 month, 1.5 months, because it kept coming to me like, ayo 20,000 anga rent kudukunume. And trust me, I'm extremely successful in what I'm doing. This 20K, 25K is not going to make me broke, or it's not going to kind of, bring a big problem to my expenses or my savings. But it is wired in us that we keep thinking of these small things and the fear of failure. Most of us cannot face failures. That's something women always have this thing in you. My husband, his project doesn't go well, he'll just be down for like or 1 hour kuda illa, or half an hour adhu patti pesuvanga, then he goes on to watching matches, he goes on to playing football, whatever. But for us, it keeps running in our mind. Ayyo ava enna paathu appadi sollitaan, enna unoda business flop ayiruchaanu kettanga, enna and order nee correct ah deliver panniyanu kettanga. So this keeps running in our mind. But what we have to always remember is, whoever is going to talk about it is not going to run your business tomorrow. It is you who are going to run your business. So, okay, you failed once, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I might sound foolish, but the first order that I took was for 500 people. I don't even know how I took such a big order. And I was not sure how I was going to run that order at all. But I was successful in delivering it. But there was a problem at the end of the order. There was a small problem that there was a miscommunication between the customer and me. There was a problem. And at that point of time, I had people telling me, this business is not for you, Rupa. You are somebody who has been with, laptops. You've been with, corporates, you've been with most of human resources always around you. நீ வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டவ் எதிரில நின்று குக் பண்ணி அது டெலிவர் பண்றதுலாம் maybe it's not the right choice for you. This is what at least 8 to 10 people who knew the story told me. But that was the day I decided, okay, முடியாதுன்னு சொல்றாங்க பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். It's not like, it's not something that's going to, shatter my life altogether. But for the sake of those 8 to 10 people, I went ahead, and now I have at least around 8 to 10,000 customers around the world, and I have a 98% positive feedback. And why customers come back to me is because I customize everything, starting from your salt content to the oil that you want me to use, to even calorie specific meals. Okay, so leave ahead this fear of failure. You will face this. இன்னொரு இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பாயிண்ட் என்னன்னா, நம்ம ஏதாவது ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம கிட்ட அந்த ஒரு பழக்கம் இருக்கு, அத்தை மாமா சித்தப்பா சித்தி எல்லார்கிட்டயும் போய் சொல்லிடணும், நான் இது ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண போறேன். என்ன ஆகும்னா, they may not even understand your business. அவங்க ஆளாளுக்கு ஒரு ஒப்பீனியன் சொல்லிடுவாங்க. And at the end of the day, you will be one confused mess, not knowing நம்ம வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் பண்ணணுமா வேண்டாமா அப்படின்னு. So just keep all this in mind. It's a very exciting journey. Some days you will sleep with a lot of orders in your pocket. Some days you will not have any order at all, but it is all worth it. At the end of the day, you have your own brand, which is nothing less than your child. So just go ahead, take the plunge at this age. At around 2021, when you start your business, you have lots to learn. And when you reach 30, you could have even raised a couple of rounds of investments if you have a very innovative and a very, very determined business that you are running. Can you go to the next slide, please? Okay. Now, these are some things that you want to know just in case you want to start a business of your own. The government of India offers a lot of financial aid, especially for women entrepreneurs. If you are a first generation entrepreneur, you get these loans. So, you can go ahead and talk to any bank that you want, and you will see that there are a lot of options available for women entrepreneurs, especially with very, very low rate of interest, and also with with no big risk taking capacity here. So next slide, please. Okay, so now we've spoken about all of this in the previous slides also. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, the first thing that you have to do is look around you. Look around you. What are the problems that people are facing? Okay, you will see people struggling to take care of their kids. You will see people struggling to go and buy medicines from medical shops. You will see people struggling to organize a party. So every problem is your idea to start a startup. Every problem around you requires a solution. And what startups do is they offer solutions to problems of their customers around them. Always play with your strengths. Okay, I had a lot of people asking me, you were into fashion for 18 years, do you want to go ahead and start food? I was into fashion for 18 years, but I was under the guidance of somebody else. I had my managing directors to take the risk. I had my CEO and COO to tell me where I was going wrong. But if it was one domain that I have been growing up with was food. So I knew food was my strength, and therefore I started with my strength. So each of you all will have a strength in you. People will laugh at you when you tell an idea. If people don't mock at your idea, then you're wrong. If people mock at you for telling you an idea, trust me, you're right somewhere, and start going ahead with it. Okay, so understand your target group, very important. You cannot make chapatis and a North Indian sabji and start marketing it to a South Indian crowd. Always understand your target group and design your products to suit your target group. Take forward failure, take forward criticism. People will criticize you, people will tell all sorts of things to you, but don't let that affect you. Just go ahead and keep your aim. Just break your targets. Just make sure you have goals that you want to achieve, and you can just keep moving forward in the journey of running a business. Okay, So, and after a long day, I always do this. I know people laugh at me some days. Every day in the evening at 7 o'clock, after I finish delivering my orders, you will find me in a cafe that is near my house having my cold coffee. This is like 5 days a week. I make it a point to go there and sit silently for at least 15-20 minutes, sipping my cold coffee at the end of the day, is because I deserve it. I have toiled in front of oil and in front of the gas stove for almost 6 hours, handling multiple customers, handling multiple orders. And I deserve that half an hour of, enjoying my cup of cold coffee. So celebrate every small success, which I do. I do every day. At the end of a season, after Diwali, I take a 15 days break. I take a 15 days break. I love to travel. I travel wherever I want with my family. Sometimes I solo travel as well. So what is different than being in a corporate and running your business is you can shut it down for like 1 week, 10 days, take a break, celebrate whatever, all that bit of hard work you have done, and you can start it again fresh. Whereas நம்ம ஆஃபீஸ்ல இருந்தோம்னா அங்க போய் அப்ளை பண்ணிட்டு அவங்களுக்கு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிட்டு nothing required here. So if you have an idea that you would like to discuss, Nirmala ma'am has my number. You can always ping me on WhatsApp. I'll be glad to help you guys to, start your own businesses. It could be anything, any small thing. Just start it and bring in this innovation into your brand. And I'm sure you guys will be doing very well. Thank you, Nirmala, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
If there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Yeah. Girls, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself, ma'am.
Could be any question. Please do not, hesitate from asking it. Could be any question.
Ma'am, actually, from my side, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes. Is innovation is important for a startup, ma'am?
Absolutely. See, I was just talking about Swiggy. They just started as a small third-party logistics when they started. But after that, now if you see, it is important for them to stay in the market. It's not possible that, you will continue to use Swiggy only when, hotels tie up with them. At some point of time, hotels started, stop tying up with Swiggy because hotels had to pay a huge commission to Swiggy. Now, Swiggy had to survive at that point of time. That's where they brought in their own concept of genie, wherein they were not, dependent on any hotel. They were dependent on end customers. I use Swiggy Genie to ship my orders also. So I can't keep traveling every time. So if I feel that, okay, my time is saved, I just book a Genie and send my order from, Tambaram to Anna Nagar. And from there, they moved on to Swiggy Instamart, where now I can even buy groceries sitting at my house if I just have Swiggy installed on my phone. Now, same is the case with Lenskart. So Lenskart also first started only online, but they realized only online offering optometric solutions is not going to help them. So they started establishing a lot of offline stores. Lenskart has store almost in every mall that you go to, you will see Lenskart stores there. So that is where they brought in this innovation. See, owning a Ray-Ban or owning a cooler 10 years back was a big thing. Ipo vandu Lenskart la 999 you get 2 coolers. For every trip you go, I see, small kids also changing their coolers very, very, frequently. So every startup, in order to be there in this market, has to innovate. Like I started with only dietary meals, and then I knew the takers for dietary meals are not as high as I thought it was. So from dietary meals, I've now moved on to corporate gifting and corporate hampers. So I realized even corporates now want to offer the best quality homemade foods to their customers, to their employees. So during Diwali, you will see I have at least 3 to 5 corporates signing up for gift hampers for Diwali gifts to their employees. So you need to constantly keep innovating. Otherwise, it's very tough for us to stay in the market. Okay, I think I have some questions.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Yeah. So what kind of challenges are faced by women entrepreneurs? Like I told you, number one is family support. That is very, very important for us to be running a business. Okay. If you are part of the women forums, you will see a lot of women entrepreneurs discussing this particular point. Okay. When men want to scale up, when men want to build multiple branches of their business, there is not so much of resistance from the family. But when we want to do it, we have to literally take permission from everybody, though the business is ours. Okay. I have to take permission from almost everybody if I have to move forward and scale up my business. So you can do that only when you have family support. Number two is your work-life balance. I remember Indira Nui once telling that when she got the promotion on PepsiCo, and she was just coming home all enthusiastic to tell her mom that she's got the promotion. Her mom stopped her and told her, "Did you buy milk? There's no milk at home." And at the same point, Indira Nui's husband was at home. Okay. But these kind of questions are always directed to the women of the house, because we are supposedly the caretakers, the primary caretakers of the family. So the work-life balance goes for a toss most of the times. If you're able to schedule your day, if you're able to prioritize your tasks, that also can be kind of handled efficiently. The gender inequality part, if there are vendors and you want to strike a deal with your vendor, you have to be extremely careful about how you present yourself and how you talk to your vendor. Because one small gesture which is inappropriate can lead to different scenarios with your vendors also. But that said, I don't think it's a big thing. It's not like, it's not possible to handle all these. As you start seeing such scenarios, you'll get used to handling such scenarios as well. Any other questions, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
How to become a successful woman entrepreneur?
Successful woman entrepreneur is to, number one, trust in yourself. Okay. Success is defined in multiple terms to multiple people. If you go and ask Neeta Ambani what is success, she might probably tell you that, touching a 2000 crores top line would be her success. You ask me what is success? For me, delivering all my Raksha Bandhan hampers on time and getting positive feedback from my customers is success for me. So success as an entity, the definition might vary from person to person, but trust in yourself. Number two, please be determined on what you want to do. We give up a little easily when it comes to business. That's something I've seen. A lot of people, a lot of women start multiple businesses. And after 2 to 3 years, you will see that, they just give it up a little easily. Please don't do that. Take a break if you want. Take 2 months break. Take time to re-ideate. Take time to think what you want to do next. Okay, a project failed. That's fine. Take that as a learning. Okay. I started everyday meals thinking I can do it really well, but I only realized I was in turn burning my energy trying to do something where I was not able to do it consistently. So I just took that as a learning, and I implemented that learning to the diet meals that I run now successfully. So if there is a failure, just take that as a learning. Do not stop your business at any point of time. Just take a break. You're not able to do something. That's perfectly fine. All of us go through those phases. Just take a break for a couple of months, re-ideate, take time to think what you want to do next, and you can go ahead. And most importantly, set goals. You need to have a vision and a mission for your brand. Okay. A vision is something that is going to be a long term. My vision is to ensure people get quality food very, very easily at a very affordable cost. Now, this is my vision. For me to achieve that vision, I have smaller missions. Like number one, I have to go all full-fledged with dietary meals. Number two, I have to ensure the senior citizens inside my community get to, taste my food first. So there are multiple missions that we will have. All these missions will have certain goals. So jot down your goals. And if you're not able to achieve a goal, that's perfectly fine. But at least put a goal. And I can't show it to you now, but otherwise you'll see that my fridge has a lot of smaller chits that I stick with different colors. Okay, so the green ones are one that I can take some time to do that. The orange ones are still fine. Okay, I can do it today, or at the most I have to do it tomorrow. I have red ones. I try my best not to have red ones, because the red ones mean I have to do that immediately. So put your goals, prioritize your tasks. Above everything, please identify your strength and start a business that aligns with your strength first. Okay, after you establish this business, you can go ahead and take a risk of starting something totally new. But when you're starting a first business, please play with your strengths. Anything else? I think you guys
Thank
just
you,
eat
ma'am.
lunch and
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Personally, I would like to thank you because in spite of your illness, actually, you were there with us for this past 1 hour. Really, I'm very, very thankful to you, ma'am.
Perfectly fine.
For
I
that.
like interacting with kids. There's somebody who
Yeah,
wants
really.
to ask any question. Please go ahead.
Does anybody any questions, ma'am?
Okay. So
Okay, ma'am.
if they require any kind of help, yeah, you could just give them my number.
Sure,
Nirmala.
sure.
I'm more active on WhatsApp. I don't pick calls. I'm slightly allergic to calls.
Yeah.
I'm more active on WhatsApp. So you can go ahead and ping me on WhatsApp.
Sure, sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure. Ma'am, formal vote of thanks.
Thank you for your wonderful speech, ma'am. We shouldn't have done it without you, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Now I request all the now I request Purna from 3rd BBA to propose the vote of thanks.
We have reached the end of this beautiful session today. I am Purna Kumari from 2nd BBA. Take the opportunity to put my gratitude into words. First of all, I would like to thank for making this program a successful one. On the behalf of Shri Kanyaka Parmeshwari Arts and Science College for Women, I would like to extend my hearty sincere thanks to our resource person, Mrs. Rupa Rajendra ma'am, for spending their valuable time despite of her busy schedule. Thank you, ma'am. I take this opportunity to extend our sincere thanks to our management, Honorable Correspondent, Mr. Gugilam Ramesh sir, Principal ma'am, Dr. T. Mohanashri ma'am, Vice Principal, Dr. P.B. Vanita ma'am, Dr. M.V. Napinay ma'am. I would like to thank IIC department staff members for extending their hands in organizing program. I thank all the students for the cooperation towards the program. Thank you, students. Thank you all for being with us and making the session as a memorable one. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Purna. Girls, kindly on your video. Ma'am, we'll have a group photo, ma'am. Rupa, ma'am.
Yeah, that should be fine. I didn't know group photo is possible in Zoom also.
Yes, ma'am. Participants, kindly switch on your videos, ma'am. Participants, kindly switch on your videos for a group photo session. Girls, kindly switch on your videos, ma'am.
I was not a very video person until COVID happened.
Yes.
Most of my meetings will be without videos.
Thus, you all switch on your videos, ma'am. You all switch on your videos. Girls, kindly switch on your videos for group photo. Okay.
Nirmala, I think it's fine. You know.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. 1 minute, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
Punisha? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
Nirmala.
Thank you.
Glad to
Yeah,
be a
thank you,
part
ma'am.
of
Thank
the
you.
event.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, bye. Girls, feedback link will be posted in the chat now. Feedback form. Chat. Girls, feedback link will be posted in the chat box now. Kindly fill the feedback form. Feedback. Yeah, participants, kindly fill the feedback form. Feedback link will be open for an hour. So kindly give your feedback.